Hey y'all, welcome back to Blendverse Review, and today I brought the Bajadasaurus from Jurassic World Chaos Theory Epic Evolution from Mattel. So, yeah, when I started to get it today, because I really wanted at least one Bajadasaurus in my collection, and it was there. This was the very last one in stock. They only had one each of this, and so did the Maposaurus, but since I already had a lot of carnivore, I didn't want to get. I didn't prioritize the Maposaurus, but instead picked this guy up, and it looks quite cool. And there are definitely some of the features that I really like and do not like at the same time. Yeah. Well, let's get into the box. So yeah, already took this guy outside of the box. Apparently, you see the straps are not there anymore, but because I cut it off with my scissor. But yeah, really nicely done packaging, and it's surprisingly way smaller than I thought, so maybe that's a good thing, maybe not. I expect it to be much bigger in real life, but that is not the case. And this is the back side of the box, so that's kind of cool. Here we have the Hadrosaurus outside of the box. Let's slightly move the camera upwards. Okay, looks good enough, right? Yeah, it's outside of the box now, and the very first impression that I had as soon as I got this guy outside of the packaging is this dinosaur figure is just extremely light. Like, what am I saying? So, all the things that are previously reviewed, like Chaos Theory, All-Out Attack T-Rex, or Slash and Attack Spinosaurus, things like that, they are much heavier, much bigger figures. They are really heavy, especially the All-Out Attack T-Rex. But this figure is just extremely light-weighted compared to those kind of figures. So that was a slight disappointment for me, because when it comes to super light figures and for like creatures like or animals like dinosaur, I tend to get upset quite easily, because when it comes to dinosaur, I imagine all those bulky, gigantic, heavy kind of figures. But apparently that's not the case for this figure. It definitely feels like all the legs are hollow inside and somewhat hollow inside the body. Definitely it cannot be absolutely hollow, because we have the action feature inside the body that attaches all the way through the neck piece, but it's just extremely light. That's the first bad thing. And the second bad thing about this figure is that the tail is just so weird. It's way too short. What is that? I mean, look at that. Okay, you see how thick and massive the tail is until here, right? You kind of expect the tail to be really long, but look at the second piece. Like, what? Hello? They just chopped the very tip part of the tail, just straight and attached on the mid tail, like midsection of the tail. Like, what the hell is that? I mean, it looks extremely weird and goofy. Like, that's the second thing I really do not like about this figure. But except for that, it's usually, I mean, it seems good. And just a paint chipping problem for my figure. So yeah. So this very first piece over here are made out of soft rubber, and even though this new figure just got outside of the box, it has paint chips, which kind of sucks, but definitely you can repaint it later on. So yeah, I was kind of hesitating to get it because of the paint mistake it had, the chipped off paint, but yeah, I didn't really want to get Maposaurus at the moment, at least, so maybe in the future. But yeah, anyways, here it is. So let's have a look into the details. So, alright. So the headpiece looks beautiful. I like the painting. So apparently, same as Maposaurus, this thing has its another variation color, which has much more bright yellow or almost whitish color for the bottom part of the figure over here. Same for the head all the way to the neck over here. This has more of a slightly orange-ish pink when you see the color in real life. So yeah, and the other version has a black these spikes at the upper neck as well. This one has gray color, so that's kind of cool. I think I prefer this one. Not so sure until I see the other variation in real life as well. But yeah, really nice head sculpting, nice pupil, nicely painted, and yeah, you see quite a lot of skin texturing and all the details. It's coated. The finalized product comes with gloss coat sprayed, I guess. It's not flat matte coated figure, just like the All Out Attack T-Rex from Chaos Theory. That's my favorite one. I prefer all those like flat matte coated figure, just gives more superior vibe. I know I say this, I already said this multiple times, but maybe that's just me. Some people definitely prefer gloss coat, like how this guy's finalized. But yeah, not a massive fan of that. And well, I really do like the sculpting of the leg and the feet on this figure though, like, and it has somewhat decent articulation. I wish they had individual like knee articulation, but since this is not a Hammond collection or anything, this is a Epic Evolution series, so I don't really expect too much of an articulation. So yeah, generally looks good. This red par spike over here at the mid body, upper body, is also made out of rubbery materials. It's rubbery plastic, so that's kind of cool. And we got the button at the lower back side over here for the action feature, but let's have a look at that in a bit. And not much of a seam line I can see, at least for this version of the figure. And but yeah, well, the paint seems quite consistent, like the color seems quite consistent all the way from the bottom jaw, all the way to the neck, all the way to the bottom of the stomach. But when it comes to the downside of the tail, you see this is more of a pink rather than being those almost white-ish pink. When you see it in real life, you see the clear paint difference. So I don't really know why that's the case. And again, this tail is just way too small. I don't really like it, actually. So yeah. Now let's have a look at the action features. So, well, there's this mouse wheel kind of looking thing. You scroll it backwards or forwards, it will go down like that. The head will move upwards, and the spike will follow along. Let's have a look at it again. Yep, and it goes back. That's kind of cool. Even though you don't necessarily have to scroll this thing over here. I kind of bending my back because my camera is placed on the floor and my height is kind of messing the way I'm breathing at the moment. So yeah, but yeah, you don't necessarily have to do the scroll. You can use your hand to do this. That's kind of cool. So this head moves upwards and downwards, not side to side or anything. The spike moves backwards and forwards like that. The neck goes up and down, and that's all done with this scroll over here. And you see the lower back button. That's for the, hold on, that's for the tail whipping kind of thing. And you know, when it comes to Epic Evolution Mattel figures, I really hope it's like, I feel like the action feature would have been much easier to perform on the figures if they used a button instead of the scrolling thing, because I like the idea. I like how they want to give them a quite unique feature by creating these scroll things to get the action features done for their Mattel Jurassic World figures. But I don't know, like, I'm not a massive fan of these kind of scroll wheels kind of thing to do the action feature. It kind of bothers me. Would have been much easier if they gave it a press the button to activate kind of thing, just like how it has for the tail over here. So yeah. Well, yeah, I actually forgot about the leg articulation. So it does move forward and backwards, same for the back side over here. Surprisingly, they all of the legs can do splits. So that's very impressive. That's what I like when it comes to the articulation for this figure. Not so sure about the general quality of plastic, how short the tail is, and the paint chip issue already for the new figure, and extremely lightweight. But yeah, that's the only problem I have with this figure, at least. But yeah. Well, this here is Bajadasaurus next to Epic. What is it? Not Epic. Slash Attack and Spinosaurus All Out Attack T-Rex and things like that. And this thing is just relatively smaller. It's way smaller than these two T-Rex over here and Spinosaurus and things like that. It's way smaller than the... What was the name of this thing? The Extreme Damage T-Rex. But yeah, of course, definitely bigger than the Schley Oviraptor and Mattel's Gallimimus and things like that. Yeah, I mean, I do recommend it if you're a fan of all those like Brachiosaurus or Apatosaurus or Alamosaurus or something like that. But yeah, I mean, it definitely is a unique dinosaur considering all the spiky things you have at the top side of the neck and things. But yeah, when it comes to the sculpting and the proportion, especially the tail, I don't really want to recommend it. Probably Gametosaurus. That thing, now that I think about it, that might have been a better choice. But yeah, both figures are actually not even that expensive anyway, so not a big deal, that I would say. But yeah, anyways guys, thanks for watching, and I'll come back with another review.
In Blendverse we trust, joy with every bust, action figures in a row, bringing smiles as they glow. Superheroes on the shelf, each one made with love, unboxing magic every week, happiness we always seek. Living in a toy land, Blendverse takes our hand, exploring every brand, action figures so grand.